You're listening to Robots Attack. Follow them on Twitter at RobotsAttackMe. Email them at robotsattackshow@gmail.com. Like them on Facebook. And check out the website at robotsattack.me.
Alrighty, welcome back to Robots Attack here on KCU Santa Clara. We're now going to start our new watch party.
Watch party!
That's right. If you're unfamiliar with our watch party, well, what we do is we pick. So far, we've been shows like we each got to pick something. We take a die, we roll it, and whoever gets the higher number gets the pick. And so far, we did 3 animes. Now we've moved past animes for now. We may go back, but we wanted to try to do something a little different because not everyone's into anime, and we want people to participate on it. That's the whole point. The watch party. You watch it with us. So we decided. That's right. And party's fun. It's a fun party.
It's more fun when there's more people.
That's right. And so we decided, it fit relatively around when we were kind of coming back and starting up the new session again, and that was the second season of Daredevil.
Woohoo!
And so, thought that would fit, and we all enjoyed the first season, and so we decided, let's do the second season. We'll watch it together and discuss it. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna talk about episode 1. We're gonna spoil the hell out of it.
Yes.
So apologies in advance if you
don't want to know about it, skip ahead.
But yeah, that's the whole point of the watch party. We're gonna watch like next week. We'll discuss episode 2. So we're gonna go chronologically and then discuss the episode and everything like that. And so you want to watch it with us. That way, you don't have to worry about spoilers and stuff. You've watched it and you can participate. You can tell us what you thought, if you liked it, didn't like it. Foreshadow, that sort of thing. Like, what do you think is gonna happen? But yeah. So let's get into this. Episode 1 of the second season of Daredevil.
Daredevil. For one, it was kind of funny going from Batman v Superman to Daredevil because you have demigods. It's a street crime. It's a bit of a jump, but it was. I thought it was a refreshing palate cleanser. But that said, like the Daredevil show does not pull punches. I like that like they kind of just drop you into it, and like it starts off. I like the way that it starts with humanity. It starts with Foggy and Matt talking, and then you quickly ramp up into action again. And the Punisher seems very dangerous, even though you only get glimpses of him.
Yeah,
but it is kind of fun, like seeing him toe up against or step up to Daredevil, because like they are a good match for like. To be like opponents in this storyline, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of that.
I honestly didn't expect, this is cutting very deep into it, but I didn't expect the fist fight between the two of them to go so far towards Punisher. I didn't expect him to be able to hold up against Daredevil. I thought that was interesting. I would have expected that he would have leveraged gunplay a lot more in order to throw Daredevil off, but it looks like he's just straight up a match for him.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see what ends up being his backstory. I mean, the fight sort of starts off with gunplay, Daredevil, blocking the shots and stuff like that. But yeah, it's weird. This is going to sound strange, but this episode. And I'm curious to see how the rest of the season, if it follows this. This felt very comic booky, this episode to me. Like just the feel and the tone of it. Like it's weird like saying that because you're like, well, it's based off of a comic book. But from having not watched the first season in a while, but like seeing like Jessica Jones and, just kind of going back to what I could pretty certain what I remember from the first season of Daredevil. With both of those shows, they really tried to push a lot more like realism with it. And this felt like, not that they were disregarding realism completely, but it felt very comic booky, like from all the like Irish gang and all the mobs and the biker gang. It was like, did someone watch Sons of Anarchy and that, okay, let's get a biker gang in here. Like, all right, which like mob group hasn't been used in a while. An Irish mob, all right, an Irish mob. Like it felt not in a bad way, but just it felt very comic booky compared to the first season. So it was strange. I was watching. I was like, this feels different. Like
The
I
setup
can
is a lot
understand
different.
that. And to me, it felt a little bit more organic just because it would be all of the second string, like big groups of villains.
Oh, yeah,
that were left over.
Yeah,
after the events of the first season.
I mean, they explain that. It just when I'm watching it, it really felt like
It's a
it
much
felt
different
like a
tone.
This really feels like a comic book show where the others seemed like they were trying to not shy away from that, but like make you think like this isn't your normal comic book show.
Yeah, this one embraced its comic bookness a little bit more in the open, and to me, it was like the establishing shot at the very beginning of the episode, where it's like panning over the city and like all the different sounds.
Yeah,
and
he's
like
listening,
and like every single thing has been color graded. Like the colors have all been changed. Not a single building is painted like it's supposed to be, like in terms of light coloring. And when you do things like that, it definitely changes the tone of that you're setting, because that's like. Because like Dick Tracy did the same thing as in the old Warren Beatty movie. Like they went back and they color corrected every single frame, so all the yellows are the exact same. And like this city and this opening scene has a similar thing. Like there's this certain sheen color that is on all the windows. All the lights have a certain tint to them in the darkness. It just pushes that style card get played real early and pushed forward real hard. And that tends to. Well, I think that might also lead into that comic book feel, because it's like it's high on the style is now the forefront.
Well, the Irish mob is definitely a big thing too. It seems like it was used a lot heavier in comics in general than a lot of other places. I think it softened the blow for me just because I've ended up seeing in the last few years they've tried to start up some Irish mob shows that had some pretty good heavy hitters as far as acting goes, but they never really got any traction. I think just because people aren't as interested, it's not really part of the current zeitgeist, I guess, that people.
Which is interesting because Peaky Blinders is effectively one of those shows, and it's doing.
But that's
quite
way
well.
back. That's right, or
it happens between World War I and World War II.
Yeah, that's a different atmosphere.
True enough.
Although,
but I'm talking about more the modern type. Like trying to fit the Irish mob into a modern setting can be tricky in a lot of stuff.
And then we'll see really like how much of a factor they do actually play, because they they do a bait and switch. You're like, oh, I guess these are going to be kind of some of the biggest. Nope, they're all gunned down.
Yeah. Well, that and like the Mexican drug cartels too. That was going to be like, oh wow, they're going to set up like a big fight with that. No, they're basically just the armory for Punisher.
Yeah. I suspect there'll still probably be some of them, but yeah, it seemed like but yeah. And then I'm curious too how they're going to play up, like if they're going to play up like the Punisher as the villain, like throughout the entire thing, or if it's going to be something where it's like he's kind of the villain for a good chunk, and then it slowly switches over to some other thing.
My understanding is that the first half of the series is kind of his series, and the second half is Elektra's.
All right.
I could sort of see that.
That's cool.
Yeah, because that was one of the things that was interesting when the mob leader was talking. He's like, and no one's heard from the Yakuza in weeks or months. Like they're all gone. It's like, you say that now, but
but from just like sticking with just this episode, and no other outside sources.
Well,
it makes
that first episode.
I know. I'm referring more to what Jason mentioned.
Gotcha.
It'll be curious to see how he plays, and the other factor of like he's like you could kind of. I mean, that argument. I mean, I know they're going to play up that argument of like, well, he's killing like really bad people, so like is that a bad thing? It's like how it'll be interesting how they end up playing up that aspect of like, well, I kind of want to root for the Punisher. Like, you know, like,
Yeah.
are they going to want you to root for him, or are they going to kind of, you know, like make it so you're like, no, what he's doing, it's wrong. Like, here's, you know, they could have several choices of how they want. Do they want the audience like to just be from, you know, Daredevil Matt Murdock's perspective, or do they want to play both sides and have the audience like torn kind of thing? Like,
so far,
yeah.
I'm thinking they're pushing more towards trying to make you sympathize with Murdock a little bit more, just because it's arguable whether every single person in that initial room with all the mobsters, I mean, are they all killers, every last one of them?
yeah,
And especially since that's part of the plot, is one of them survives, and he's like, you know, I've done some horrible things, but I'm nothing like the rest of these guys.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I really deserve to be like gunned down personally. But you don't know,
Yeah.
like whether he's actually on the up and up or what. I mean, he admittedly is a bad guy, but just by the information that we have so far in this episode, it seems like they're pushing more towards, no, this is definitely bad.
It's definitely
a
harsh.
shade.
Yeah.
It's a shade of bad that people probably will accept a little bit more readily, but it's definitely bad so far.
yeah.
Yeah, it's and that's one of the things that makes the Punisher kind of an interesting character, in that, like, every aspect of that character is harsh. There's no soft edge to Frank Castle as a character, at least as the Punisher. So it's kind of interesting to see, like, since he's like sort of he has a fixed moral compass, and the deviation from that is where he drops the hammer on you, and that's kind of,
well,
like,
it's funny. Like, I know
guilt by
it's a play
association
on
and all
words,
that.
but for me to do, but like you mentioned, he has a fixed moral compass. To me, what's interesting about the character is that he is completely broken. He doesn't have anything left to hold him together anymore. And that's where they kind of toy with you in a lot of the movies, like, oh, well, maybe this person will fix him or whatever. It's like, I mean, that's technically not cool in a lot of ways. But still, I mean, it ends up being this very tempting thing, like, oh, well, maybe he has a chance.
Yeah.
But no, he's pretty broken.
And of course too, like, we are also taking from other sources of the Punisher,
implying it to this guy,
implying it to this character. So it'll be curious to see, you know, this series sort of interpretation of the Punisher. Like,
the other thing that I sort of wonder is if he's going to have anything to do with, and this will probably be moderate spoilers for you, but when they talked about all of the military stuff in Jessica Jones, I wonder if he's going to have anything to do with that stuff.
Oh, even like then that drug and stuff like that.
Or at least have been in the fringes or initial test phases of it or something like that. Because I can see that putting him in a place where he could be a melee guy on Daredevil's in his ranks pretty quickly.
Yeah. I mean, I did like that they clearly showed that, like, he's
capable.
Probably not as skilled, like, with martial arts or something, because he was missing a lot of punches.
That's true.
But it was like when he connected, or, you know, he was able, like, you could tell he had some sort of training, but it was nice to see that he clearly wasn't like a ninja or something, because he was missing a lot. He was getting hit a lot, but he was just...
Yeah, mostly what
he was
seemed
taking it, and he was throwing it back as hard as he was getting it.
Yeah. To me, it seemed like the main reason why he kind of had the upper hand, a lot of it was that he was tough and, like, just outright more fierce than Daredevil was.
Yeah, you could probably tell that maybe Daredevil was holding back a little bit just because he's like,
that's true.
You know, he's the hero, quote unquote, or like, I want to, you know, find
it's
out
Batman
stuff
v
about
Superman.
this. Yeah. Whereas, like, the Punisher's just no, you know, there's no reason for him to hold back. He's just like,
you're in my way. I'm the unstoppable force. You need to move.
It is. What do you think of too? Of like the way they shot it too, of like you never really see him until that
I like-
last shot when he
Mhm.
actually says,
Yeah,
what is it, like bang or something, or what,
Yeah.
what was this?
that
when he
was
pulls
pretty
out that
cool.
gun.
I like that.
And
And you see him too. He's like, he's bloody and everything like that. He's not.
Mhm. Yeah, I actually kind of like that because when the faceless villain is always a little bit scarier for a while. You can't like play that card too hard.
Yeah.
But it was nice. Is like then it really gives him that unmovable, unstoppable force. Like he will just keep going. You don't know, like he's going gunzerk through a hospital. That's not the actions of a normal human being.
Okay, they kind of lost me on that. I'll be honest, because as screwed up as he is, I've never seen a version of the Punisher where he would risk using a shotgun in a hospital. That seemed weird to me.
Mm.
Yeah. But
I mean, a shotgun is a pretty indiscriminate weapon.
yeah. Before we get any further, that's
Before we get any further, you might want to see a spectacular showcase of classic cars, custom motorcycles, and magnificent military aircraft at the Pacific Coast Dream Machines Show, Sunday, April 24th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Half Moon Bay Airport. For more information, call 650-726-2328 or visit MiramarEvents.com. Miramar Events is all one word.
But yeah, going back to the shotgun thing too. Yeah, I was thrown off in the sense of like, if he's going after that guy, I was like, that doesn't seem like a very effective like weapon of choice to go in there to take that guy out. It was just like kind of snub nose shotgun or just and like kind of shorter rate. Like I could see like if he just walked in, bam, he could just get the guy in the bed. But you know, if he kind of thought of like, if the guy like kind of gets away, that's not a very good weapon for like trying to shoot from a distance. But I guess that's why he had that sniper rifle ready
On the roof. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, okay, maybe that's part of the argument too. Maybe he was just using the shotgun to create enough of a ruckus that then he could go to take the shot that he really meant to.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And that's an aspect of the Punisher Frank Castle character that is occasionally played up more, is that he does have a strategic side to him. He's not just guns blazing through the every scene he's in.
But yeah, a lot of those shotgun shots, it was like, oh, that was a nurse, like right there.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I don't know. I don't know if you would have done that.
But yeah,
Not my Punisher.
not the Punisher I know from comics and movies.
Right.
Yeah, I wonder too. Like, I thought it was interesting too, going back to like their practice,
Mm-hmm.
and you know when they got to their office of like they got a lot of customers, clientele, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. But they're like, it's still emphasized, even though like, they got the kingpin and all this. It's like they're still broke. Like they're still
They're still on the seedy side of Hell's Kitchen, trying to help the downtrodden who can't actually pay them.
yeah. It's like they got all this fame, but it seemed like all that fame was like, hey, you help out people who really can't, can't afford for help. So it's like they got a whole bunch of more people that way, but they're definitely still.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like the light side of the coin of the Better Call Saul series. It's really interesting to see. It's like, yeah, these are similarly like, I'm in a real fix here, except it's all the good guys versus the bad guys in each of these situations. And the bad guys generally have more money to throw
Generally.
at a lawyer.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see how Foggy and Karen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like
I think so, yeah.
what their characters end up being in this, because now it's like Foggy knows that he's Daredevil. She doesn't know.
Yeah.
Like, is that something you think like, oh, maybe she's gonna end up finding out, like that's gonna be
Probably.
something. Or,
I mean,
Plus, there's also the fact that we still know that she's the only person that took care of Wesley.
yeah.
season 1.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they play up that little bit of her. You know,
Mhm.
they kind of like, oh, you're just this like little skinny girl, or like, no, I'm actually like.
You
she
have
has
no
those
idea
little
about me.
things. Yeah, like, no, I've actually done some stuff that.
I have a spine. It works just fine. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why, like, she hasn't hit me quite right yet. I feel like it's the type of character that I should be like, hey, she's really cool. But I don't know why. I like Foggy a lot. I think he's pretty cool. But it's funny, I don't think he plays much different of a character than he's played in any other friendship role that he's ever done. But I've liked all of those characters a lot, too. He's just, start to finish, a very likable person, it seems like. It'd be funny, like, if in real life he's like, oh, I hate that guy. Man, he's so good at making you think that he'd be, like, really, like, a good guy. But, man, when he twists that knife.
Yeah, we pulled up the show, Elaine and I, and we were all watching, like, oh, it's the Pollux from Hunger Games again, but now he can talk. He's just so likable. Even when he can't speak, you know he's a likable guy.
Yeah, I think he was in Mighty Ducks also. So
yeah, well, it's funny too. Like I already mentioned, what was it?
Matthew Lillard.
Yeah, the movie with Matthew Lillard earlier. Like, she's the one. Is that it? No.
She's all that.
She's all that. He's in that too, as like the friend, the exact same character practically, except like way young. His face looks exactly the same.
Yeah, but yeah, I would say, even though I said like it's definitely a very different style, which I wonder too, since I think it's got a different showrunner this time.
Yeah.
I don't know why I always think of somebody actually running anytime I hear that. It's like, why are they running?
Quick, run the show.
You think with all of the technology these days.
But yeah, I'm definitely down to see more and what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Although it is interesting. I don't know if maybe I just missed all of it, and maybe because of all the Batman versus Superman talk, it seems like this had like it came out and then sort of just died. Like, I don't hear a lot of people talk about it as much as like the first season. Like when the first season came out, it was like there was still a lot of talk even afterwards. Like this, it seemed like, I mean, it didn't come out that long ago.
I think a decent chunk of that is that even within its space, since that came out, all of the different streaming companies or streaming services have really, really nailed down like their own productions. And so it probably gets lost even in its own schedule to a certain extent.
Yeah. And being it's on Netflix and you can have the entire season effectively in one go if you're really dedicated. But like you can burn through the show really quick.
Everybody has already binged on it.
Yeah, its longevity for hype is a little bit different than like a movie, like a major motion picture, which is in theaters for several weeks, several months, depending on its success. But at the same time, like its rating is always exceedingly high, so I don't think it's wanting for quality or for fans. It's hype. The hype train for it is chugging really hard on a lot of other things too. Like we got Guardians Volume 2 and all the other stuff, superhero stuff. So it's got a lot to work with. Yeah, compete with it. I'm obviously on board. I think this is currently one of my favorite Marvel things going right now is the Daredevils, just because I like that it's a little more contained than some of the other storylines have gone. It's like, yeah, we're not saving the universe. We're just saving our little corner of New York. And that's a refreshing change of pace. I
will say that show just in general has given a lot more meaning to when I'm playing The Division in Hell's Kitchen. I'm constantly looking for any sign of something like Marvel related going down in that area.
It would be kind of cool, like if like at some point just like you saw like the double D like spray painted.
I'm
someplace.
sure something is somewhere in that. They have tons of Easter eggs in that game.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
But yeah. So far I haven't seen anything myself, and that was kind of disappointing since it was the first zone that I cleared everything out of.
Yeah, who knows? Be curious to see how like some of the since the Division has such strong New York ties, like you're literally like learning how to navigate New York by playing the game. When I'm geeks are like, oh yeah, I've been over there and over there. That building was a little bit more run down when I looked at it last time.
Yeah.
All right, well
But yeah,
I think the first episode of our watch party of Daredevil season 2, episode 1. So tell us your thoughts. Did you like the first episode?
Mm-hmm.
What do you hope it's going to happen? And participate with us, because next week we'll talk about episode 2.
Oh yeah. You can interact with us, send us your thoughts and feelings at facebook.com/robotsattackshow. That's all one phrase. Or twitter.com/robotsattackme. Also one phrase.
That's right. Okay. We will take a quick music break. And speaking of music and streaming,
mm-hmm.
Want to listen to KCU even when you're not near a radio? You can stream us whenever you want at kcu.org or on the TuneIn radio app or website. Never be without the underground sound. And of course, our pro tip.
You can find our station faster by searching for our call letters, KSCU.
That's right. All right, we're going to take a quick music break and then come back with some new releases and the news.
Yay!
All right. More Robots Attack here on KSCU, Santa Clara.
You're listening to Robots Attack. Follow them on Twitter at RobotsAttackMe. Email them at robotsattackshow@gmail.com. Like them on Facebook. And check out the website at robotsattack.me.